A URI oceanographer and graduate student are studying the effects of rising sea levels around the globe.
And they recently spent 6 weeks on the coast of Antarctica with an international team of scientists. Meteorologist Pete Mangione joins us now from South Kingstown with what they learned new at 5:30.
After making a trip to Antarctica, two University of Rhode Island researchers are now combing through their data and coming up with some pretty amazing findings. You are looking at an ice shelf in the Antarctic. Notice the trail of ice melt extending out in front of it. Scientists are concerned about what might happen if this keeps up.
If this ice shelf was to collapse, within the scale of maybe decades, we might see 1 to 2 meters. So that's, 6 feet of sea level rise.
URI Assistant Professor of Chemical Oceanography Bryce Luce and graduate student Arash Bigdelli took a trip to Antarctica back in February. Here is Bigdelli taking in the scenery. And that's Luce in a hard hat on the far left. They made the trip to study a rapidly melting ice sheet in western Antarctica centering around Pine Island Glacier. They want to know how and why warm water is moving in from the coast.
That water somehow is able to make it up onto the continental shelf and then kind of insert itself underneath these floating ice shelves.
Luce says the warm water is related to a shift in wind patterns, and that in turn affects ocean currents. He isn't exactly sure of the mechanism behind all of this, but his research indicates climate change is a factor.
We can associate that with essentially different levels of CO2, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and so we can associate that with the global warming.
At its current rate, the glacier melt is only causing a sea level rise of 0.13 millimeters per year. But if complete collapse occurred, the rise would be much higher and coastal cities could be threatened. In the meantime, scientists hope that the glaciers can hang on and there is no big change in scenery.
There are times that we are surrounded by ice and snow and there's nothing else, just pure white.
There's still a lot more work to do, but the two researchers hope to finalize the results in about a year. I'm meteorologist Pete Mangione, Eyewitness News.